You know, in healthcare, the most critical instrument for success, it might not be a scalpel or a stethoscope. It's the ability to lead change. Today, we're going to break down the blueprint for mastering change in one of the world's most complex and most important industries. So, let's get right to it. Think about this. When a new AI diagnostic tool gets rolled out or a huge policy shift changes how we deliver patient care, how does a leader actually guide their team through all that turbulence? What does it really take to not just survive change, but to lead it?
Well, here's the good news. Leading change isn't about luck. It's not about guesswork or some kind of secret magic. It's a discipline, a concrete set of skills that you can learn, you can practice, and you can master. Doesn't matter if you're a department head or the CEO.
Okay, so if it's a skill, how do you build it? You start with the right tools. We're talking about a modern change leaders toolkit, and it's all designed to keep the entire organization healthy and ready for anything. The first tool is all about diagnosis, right? Before you can prescribe a solution, you have to understand the patient. Organizational readiness is exactly that. It's like taking the pulse of your institution to see if it's truly ready to anticipate, prepare for, and ultimately respond to the change you want to make. Now, this highlights a really critical distinction. A great leader isn't just one or the other, proactive or reactive. They're both. They need to be able to execute a structured, year-long plan for something big, like a new record system. But they also have to be able to pivot on a dime with an agile, reactive strategy when a crisis hits. The real skill is knowing which approach to use and when. But listen, a toolkit is pretty useless if you don't know how to use the tools, right? So let's shift from just talking strategy to real action. Let's look at the blueprint for actually making change happen on the ground. This is the action blueprints, and it follows a really clear, logical path. First, you always start with people, because no change is going to succeed without their buy-in. Then you move to data, because you have to prove that the change is actually working. And finally, you practice, because leadership is a hands-on skill. You've probably heard that old saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. Well, in healthcare, that's not just some business mantra. It's a patient safety principle. Guesswork is a huge liability when lives and the stability of your operations are on the line. You absolutely have to measure the impact of any change. So, what does that measurement look like in the real world? A change dashboard isn't just a bunch of abstract numbers. It's all about answering the crucial questions. Are your staff actually using the new system? Are patient outcomes getting better because of this change? And are things running more efficiently? This is where you find out if your big plan is actually working. Okay, so all the planning and all the data, it leads to this, the final, most important step, leadership in action. And this is where you run hands-on simulations. Honestly, think of it as a flight simulator for hospital administrators. It's a safe space to test out your leadership skills before you're flying the plane with real patients on board. Which brings us to the people who are actually using these tools and these action plans. They really represent a new class of professional. They're not just managers, they're true architects, shaping the very future of healthcare. So who are these change leaders? It's not just one single role. It's this powerful coalition of academic thinkers and frontline veterans. You've got the big picture, strategic perspective from MBA candidates and consultants, and you combine that with the practical life or death experience of senior clinicians and administrators. Real, lasting change happens when those two worlds connect. So we've covered the tools, the action plan, and the leaders. That's the blueprint for successful change in healthcare. And now, the focus shifts over to you. The blueprint is clear. The tools, the steps, the people, it's all laid out. So the only question left is a personal one. Whether it's improving patient workflow on a single hospital floor or rolling out a brand new technology across an entire system, what change will you lead?